It was a Tuesday morning. Alex, owner of a company on track to hit $1 million in annual revenue, sat in his office with his heart hammering against his ribs. He had 42 employees expecting their paychecks in 48 hours. His bank account showed less than $500. On social media, Alex was the golden boy of the custom woodworking industry. His projects were stunning, his schedule was booked solid for months, and his revenue growth was a literal straight line to the moon. But there is a silent killer in business, a trap that turns record-breaking sales into bankruptcy. Alex was about to realize that his success was actually his greatest threat. 5 years ago, Alex started Apex Custom Woodworking in a cramped garage. It was simple. He did the work, the client paid, he bought more wood. But as he scaled, he made a fatal assumption: if you sell it, the money is yours. He landed massive contracts with property developers and luxury apartment managers. The revenue metric on his dashboard was screaming green. He hired more crews. He rented a bigger warehouse. He bought top-tier machinery. But he didn't notice the cash gap. His clients were blue chip, but they were slow. They paid 60, sometimes 90 days after delivery. Meanwhile, Alex's suppliers, the lumberyards, the paint distributors, and his own staff required payment now. He was essentially acting as a bank for his clients, financing their projects with his own survival money. Every new, successful contract he signed was actually a massive new bill he had to pay before he ever saw a dime of profit. The aha moment came late that Tuesday night. Alex finally stopped looking at his P5AMP statement, which showed he was profitable, and looked at his cash flow statement. He saw the truth. His business wasn't failing because he was a bad craftsman. It was failing because of timing. He was stuck in a growth trap. Every time he grew, his cash needs grew faster than his cash collections. He was winning the game of business, but he was running out of oxygen. He was literally growing himself into insolvency. On average, his money was sitting in someone else's bank account for almost 70 days after the work was finished. Meanwhile, his crew needed paying every 2 weeks. His hardwood supplier wanted payment in 30 days. His insurance premium hit on the first of the month. No exceptions. No grace. This is called the cash conversion cycle. The gap between the day you pay for materials and labor and the day you actually collect the cash. The longer that gap, the more of your own money is quietly funding someone else's project. Alex didn't need a loan to grow. He needed a system. He stopped chasing revenue and started chasing liquidity. Here is how he fixed it, and how you can too. The milestone shifty amp, upfront deposits. Alex stopped allowing payment upon completion. He restructured his contracts into staged billing and required significant upfront deposits. The fix: he required a 50% upfront deposit before materials were ordered, followed by 30% mid-project, and the final 20% on completion. No exceptions, no matter the client's size. The result: the client's money now funds the project's materials and initial labor, not his personal bank account. This dramatically shortened his cash conversion cycle too. The weekly cash runway audit: he stopped looking at his bank account once a month. The fix: he implemented a weekly cash flow forecast. Every Friday, his manager maps out exactly what must leave the bank account for the next 30 days. The rule: if a new contract pushes the company below a 2-month cash buffer, the job is rejected, no matter how profitable it looks on paper. Solvency over vanity. 3. Just-in-time procurement: he stopped buying materials to look ready. The fix: he shifted to smaller, job-specific material drops. Materials were ordered only after deposits cleared, tied directly to each project's timeline. He stopped paying for thousands of dollars of wood to sit in his warehouse for weeks. The result: cash stays in his pocket until the absolute last second, optimizing working capital. 4. Terms renegotiation. 50 amp. Early payment incentives. Alex proactively addressed slow-paying clients. The fix: he rewrote payment terms from net 30 to net 15 for new contracts. For existing clients, he offered a 2% early payment discount if they paid within 10 days. 9 of them said yes immediately. The result: accelerated cash collection and improved client payment behavior. 5. The strategic, no-su-amp cash buffer line. He learned that not all revenue is good revenue. The fix: he opened a small line of credit at his local credit union, not to grow the business, but purely as a bridge for the gap between doing the work and getting paid. Crucially, he also said no, twice, to large prestige contracts that would have taken 6 months to pay out. That was the hardest part. The result: protected his cash reserves and ensured he only took on projects that aligned with his new cash flow strategy. Within 6 months, something magical happened. Alex's revenue didn't double, it only grew by 15% to about $1.01 million. But his bank balance? It grew by 400%, consistently sitting between $60,000 and $80,000 instead of hovering near zero. He stopped panicking on Tuesdays. He started sleeping through the night. He wasn't chasing bigger. He'd finally built Solvent. The lesson is simple but brutal. Revenue is an opinion. Cash is a fact. Don't fall in love with the headline number on your dashboard. Fall in love with your bank balance, because that's the only thing that keeps the lights on. If you've ever had a month where your business looked rich on paper but felt broke in reality, drop a comment below. What was the first sign you realized you had a cash flow problem? And if you want the real mechanics behind building a business that doesn't just grow, but survives, subscribe.